Hey everybody, it's Thursday, July 18th. Hope you're all doing well and have been enjoying the week so far. I'm not gonna lie, I've had a bad week. Today is actually going okay for me, but Tuesday and yesterday were real bad. And depending on how things go tomorrow for me, I might be on track to having my first red week in as long as I can remember. It's literally been, I think, like over a year since I actually had a red week. I've had red days interspersed, here and there over the course of the last year or so, but on the week I've been green every single week. Might not be the case this week, so we'll see. But as you know, I'm sure that if you're watching this video, you follow the markets every day, and you know that tech this week has had its worst week in years, and sold off huge Tuesday and yesterday. It came back a little bit today, but I'm really into the tech trade. I do a lot of tech, I do a lot of semiconductors, and semiconductor got hit really hard the last couple of days. Meta was down, AMD was down. It was rough, and it's totally my fault. Like I should have seen it coming, but I didn't. So I screwed up. Everybody has those days where they don't do things the right way, and I am not immune to having bad days here and there. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be making you a video about how awesome my trades were today, as much as I would love to be doing that. I'm keeping it real with you, so you know that when I tell you how much I'm winning, that's for real. And I'm telling you, I haven't been winning this week, so that's also for real. But what I'm doing making this video today is because I received an email yesterday. This guy named Steven wrote to me, and he said, I love the book, and I'm just trying to figure out how to set up my charts the same way that you have them, because he's finding a little bit of difficulty getting the indicators on there the right way. It's actually pretty simple to do, but I can understand that if you're just reading the book, it's a little bit harder than if you're trying to do it watching my video course. And in my complete video course, I do have entire videos focused on just putting the charts up the right way and getting your indicators put on there the same way that I use them. But I'm going to do that video today. So in just a second here, I'm going to do a little screen capture, and I'm going to show you just how easy it is to configure your study sets the same way that I have mine configured. But before I do that, also I just wanted to say I am just about finished writing my next book, and it's something that I've been doing for months now, and I'm basically done. I'm sitting at a coffee shop right now. I'm outside, and I'm basically going to be proofreading my book today. And if everything goes well and I realize that there's not anything that I'm missing out here, I'm going to be publishing this new book probably within the next week. It's going to be a lot shorter than my last book. It's going to be less expensive. It's not going to be a sort of nuts and bolts how-to trade guide like the way my first book was. Secrets of the Lone Wolf Trader was all about the actual steps that I take daily to do my trades, but this next one is going to be about more like the mental side of the game, like the mental focus that you have to have, sort of identifying your strengths and weaknesses, and really being able to lean into your strengths and try to honestly identify your weaknesses and then fix your weaknesses whenever you can. So it's going to be all about the mental side of trading, and I think it's going to be really good, and I think it will really help a lot of people, especially if you've already read my first book or you're already involved in trading on a daily basis. Like the first book was good for people who maybe had zero trading experience and they're just complete beginners. And this next book is more for people who already kind of know what they're doing, like people who have already started trading and you've already got the experience under your belt of what it's like on a daily basis, but maybe now you're starting to realize through the process of daily trades, like, oh, I'm not really very good at doing this, or I have this or that problem, whatever it may be. So it's kind of like the next stage in the evolution. Once you've started trading, now you're identifying the main problems that you're having day to day. So in a nutshell, that's what this next book is going to be about. So without further ado, let's get into the video where I'm going to tell you all about how to arrange your charts with the indicators that I like to use every day. Okay, so here we are taking a look at the last half of the day on Meta today. We've got the Meta chart, but for this video lesson, we're not going to be actually discussing the price action. We're going to be discussing how to add indicators on your charts, and more specifically the ones that I use more than any others. It's actually surprisingly easy to do once you know a few things. So first of all, you want to go up to the very top here where you see all this stuff along the top of the frame here. We're looking at studies. So when you click on studies, you'll see a drop down menu and you can create your own study sets. So if you go to load study set, you'll see these are all of the study sets that I have created, and I look at all of these at various times of the day and on different time frames. So certain study sets work pretty well on certain time frames for specific purposes, and others are more kind of all-purpose. What I'm going to show you right now is how to create the one that I use the most out of all of them, and that's just basically the 200 EMA, the 50 period EMA, and the alligator indicator on the main charts here, and then the Chaikin money flow and the MACD on the bottom, and then the RSI overlaid on top of the volume right here. So the easiest way to do this, to add all of your indicators, is to just go to studies and then hit edit studies. The easiest way to do is to just do a search. So I'm just going to go EXP because we're looking for the moving average exponential. So I'm going to click this, hit add selected. It automatically gives you a 9 period that if you just hit apply, you'll see it's a 9 period and it's blue. I'm going to change this. So I'm just going to go command click on here, edit the study. I'm going to change this to 200 like that. I'm going to change that color from blue to white, and I'm going to make the width 2 because I want it nice and fat. Hit apply, okay, and then here we have the 200 EMA, which I believe is the single most important moving average to look at throughout the day, because more often than not, you'll see various times of the day it's an actual, like, real solid level. I mean, we were kind of moving along sideways. We bounced right off the 200 and then shot up right at the last period of the day. And then, you can definitely go the other direction with it. So we came down here, we played off, but then when it actually broke through here in the morning, we came up just a little bit above it, but then we came back down and really went to the downside for a big period of time. And then at about 11:30, when we actually broke up above the 200 EMA, we really took off pretty much throughout the rest of the day. So I was losing money here at the beginning of the day, but then I made up a lot of that towards the end of the day. So like I was saying at the beginning of the video, I'm still not sure how I'm going to turn out by the end of the week. We'll see how my trading goes tomorrow. But it hasn't been a very good week for me. Got no problems admitting that. Everybody has bad days, and I just had a couple of bad days, but that's not the point of this video. We're talking about how to create your study sets. So I've just added the 200. We're going to go back to studies, edit studies. We're just going to do the same thing again. EXP, moving average, exponential, add it. This time I'm just going to go to this little gear window here. So we're going to change this from 9 to 50. And I'm going to go ahead and leave it on that same color. So now we see the 50 period EMA right here. I'm going to go down to studies. Once again, edit studies. This time we're going to add the alligator. I'm just going to type all, and we see Williams alligator. Add selected, apply it, then there's your alligators. Go back to studies once again, edit studies. This time I'm going to add the MACD. Just type in MAC. Here we've got MACD. I'm going to add it, apply. It automatically goes down there. I'm going to add the money flow, CHAI, Chaikin money flow. Add that, apply. Boom, I've got that right there. One more time, I'm going to add the RSI. Just a regular, straight up RSI. We're going to add that. But you see, before I hit apply here, what I'm going to do, what I like to do, is I like to actually put the RSI in the volume. You don't need to do this. Like if I hit apply, I'll just show you what it looks like. If I hit apply, then the RSI has got its own lane here. But I don't really like the RSI to have its own lane. I actually prefer the RSI to be in my volume window in the same place. It just helps me see both at the same time. So what I'm going to do is go back to studies, edit studies. I'm just going to click and drag this into the volume. And then when you look, you'll see that you've got the RSI actually in the same space as your volume. You might not like this. You might want it to have its own space. I actually prefer it to be layered on top of the volume, but we're not quite done. We're going to go back to studies, hit edit studies. One thing that I like to do with my RSI is I change the default values from 70 and 30 to 80 and 20. So I'm just going to go up here and click these arrows to make this go up to 80. Click this minus arrow, bring this down to 20. And now what that's done is it's made the overbought and oversold levels a little bit more extreme, because I personally find that I get more false signals when it's on its default setting of 70 and 30, and I get less false signals when it's on 80-20. So just for example, like let's look at right here, let's look at this particular candle at 12.22. You see that this level on the RSI at this moment, 12.22, it has not triggered this RSI. So what most people do is they look to the RSI overbought and oversold as a level where they think things are going to make a reversal. Now if I go back in and edit, once again, edit the study, bring this overbought level back to 70, hit apply. Now we see that same area. You go, oh man, it's like overbought. I need to sell. Well, yeah, you would have had success, for 5 minutes if you had sold the second that you saw this go off. You would have had like 5 minutes where you could get in and out. Sure, you could have made money just basically scalping for 5 minutes the second you saw this come up in the overbought. But as you can see, when you're looking at a little bit of a longer time frame, it's much better to just continue riding the upwards trend. And you would have been maybe feeling a little pain right here, but you would have stayed in it, and you would have, if you would have gotten in somewhere down here where you saw this higher high right here and went, okay, I can get in long right here, you could have rode it up to here, just stayed in, even though that's a little scary, stayed in. You could have gone from, 471 all the way up to 476, which is a nice 4-point move, as opposed to just simply, getting 5 minutes worth of action to the downside right here, getting in on the overbought. So what I do, like I just said, is I make this 80 instead of 70, and then whenever I do see an actual alert trigger with this 80 to 70, it's definitely more of a real type of a thing. It's like you're not going to get faked out. I mean, I don't usually look at RSI as a very, I don't put the most stock into it. I do consider it, but it's one of the less important indicators for me, honestly. It's kind of like in the hierarchy of what I look at, it's one of the later things that I'll look at when I'm thinking about whether to get in or out. So I like to have it set at those extreme levels to really make sure that it's definitely telling me something. Now, like you see right here, when you're at this 80 level, this did actually really fall out hard from 479 down to 475. So you had, four points in like 5-6 minutes here. And so this point right here would have been capturing a lot nicer move than that other kind of half-baked overbought signal that we saw earlier in the day, where it was set to the 70 level. So that's just kind of going off on a little bit of a tangent about the RSI. But yeah, so basically this is how you set up your study sets. You can put whatever indicators you want on here. You can take all of them off. You can add all of them on. You can add on whatever you want. This particular setup for me is the one that I like most out of all of them, although I do consider a lot of different views depending on what's happening, and I'll frequently switch them up. But when you are finished adding all of your indicators that you want to look at, you can go save study set, and then this will pop up. You just name this whatever you want. I can put my study set, name it whatever you want, hit save. And now when you go back to studies, load study set, all the way at the very bottom here, we see my study set. That's the one that I've just created. It's exactly the same one that is alligator right here. So I'm just going to put delete study set. We're going to delete this one that I just created. Are you sure you really want to delete it? Yes, I do. So I just deleted that. And now, I can click whatever I want. 5200 crossover loads this one. If I want to load, my volume profile, I've got a squeeze and a Keltner channel. So you can create as many different study sets as you want, as easy as that. You just go to studies, and then you hit edit studies, and easiest way is to just type in the little search box and then add all of the studies that you want. And then when you're finished, save it, and then you have your study sets. Easy as that. Okay, we're back. I hope that was a little bit informative for you. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. Might be a red week for me. It might not. I'm close to break even right now, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But even if it's a red week, I'm not worrying about it, because I do so well all the time that I've got plenty of money in the bank, and one red week is not really going to hurt me in the grand scheme of things. So obviously I want it to be green, but we'll see what happens. And until next time, I hope you're all having a good week. And remember, be careful. It's volatile out there right now. So my advice is size down and be real careful. But I'll see you next week. Take care.